Donut Eating Simulator is live. Okay. God, technical issues out the ass. Are we working now? Because we had a random green screen for some reason, and then bubbly sound, and it's like, why is it? The green screen was not my fault. It was just Streamlabs screwed up the video send for some reason. Yeah, so for some reason Streamlabs, because if it was that one camera, then the upper corner video should have been fine. So yeah, I don't know what the hell it was. Okay. Donut Eating Simulator. Okay. Donut Eating Simulator is go. Sweet. Okay. We're good. Nice. Thank you for joining me while I eat my breakfast and work out technical issues that aren't my fault. I don't have anyone to check Twitch, but as long as it's fine on YouTube, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Okay. To be honest, I've actually never logged into the Twitch video thing. I just set it up. And I'm just letting it whoop, whoop stuff over there. I should probably go set that up at some point. But yeah. Okay. Man. Hello. Yeah, the chat is like super, and like all the feeds and stuff today are like crazy delayed. I don't know what the hell. I should probably look into this channel stuff actually. At some point. Something's probably screwed up. Anyway. Alright. So, as I was talking when I was bubbly and green, as a hobby, I end up picking up what I call hobby debt. And this is sort of like, if you have a 10-man squad, you'll paint 9 of them and have 1 that's not done. Or you'll have like, you know, the box comes with 8 guys, you only need 5 for a unit, so you paint 6 of them, and you have 2 left. Which is great. I love those little extras, but like, at the same time, I'm really bad about making the time to go deal with them. So I end up building this like big stack of what I refer to as hobby debt. And particularly I have a lot of it right now with regarding to necromunda. So yesterday I spent some time working on that. Specifically on building terrain. So this is one of the old pieces of terrain. This is one of the new ones that I did yesterday in the same style. So they're almost have all of the terrain for necromunda done now, which is pretty sweet. These ones I chose to do in gray. One, because my Xandri dust went to shit when I opened it, and it was all gloopy and terrible because the pots from GW are gloopy and terrible. And 2, I thought it'd be really neat to have some different colored walls in the Underhive. I felt like that made more sense instead of everything being like the same color. And I thought it'd be a little bit more visually interesting on the board. So I went ahead and I did these ones in gray instead. Then I've got a number of wall sections that are similar. So these were done just like the other ones that I did on stream, where they're a gunmetal base coat and then dry brushed with oak brown from Army Painter. Ooh, you can see that one's really grungy. Then I went through and I painted in the panels, or like the wall sections like these, These are field gray. Yeah, they're field gray. No, they're not field gray. They're not uniform gray. Where is it? Oh, they're filthy cape. That's the color right there. Filthy cape. So they're filthy cape, and then I hit the red stuff is red. The rest is silver. There's a bunch of gunmetal in here. That is Avalanche Sunset. All the little yellow lights and stuff like that. I really like this yellow. It's like very dingy TVA-y. You can see there's little bits of other shiny metal in there. Stuff like that. And then I hit the whole thing with Agrax Starshade. Just to get a little more grunge in there. Not to get the whole like grungy color, but just to get some like staining and some pooling and stuff. Because I have a hard time doing that with the brush. So I think it works pretty good. And you get a really nice, dirty, kind of grungy look to it. So these ones still got to get top coated, the wall sections. But we'll be able to have even more dense terrain in Necromunda next time I play. And it'll have some nice, cool colors in there too. So these can go in the train box. Oh, she's right behind me. There we go. Okay, what else did I do? I, yesterday, painted some more cops. Some more of the Floston Enforcer Force. Right there. Because I had painted all these guys except for these two. Except for the sniper and that guy with the shield. You can see I still need to do the base rims. I'll do that soon. Yeah, I painted all of them except for these two. So I went through and I painted them. I also touched up all their chest lights. So that is actually a color I bought specifically for it, called Speed Metal. And it's like the shiny white, and I kind of love it. It's like pseudo silvery white. I think it's awesome for their chest lights. And I think it fits them super well. For being their, you know, they're the guys from, what the hell is that? My fucking favorite movie, Fifth Element. They're the police from Fifth Element, so I figured it was very fitting. So you can see it on like this guy here. All the little other lights are red now. I went through and I hit those with one of the red contrasts. Blood Angel's red over silver. And that's the cool effect you get on it. You kind of like a shiny red. So yeah. So that's all my Enforcer Force all done. So I've got basically everything from the Dark Uprising boxes here. All done, painted up. And I know I've had some of these guys in games on the channel before. But they're all touched up now and they all match. It's pretty sweet. They're ready to rock. So, that was what I cleaned up for my hobby debt. Why was I doing hobby debt? I hear you ask. No one asked that, but that's, yeah, you know what I mean. So, I am a giant ball of anxiety. All the time, constantly worrying about everything. 100%. And one of the things I do I also pick things out of my beard and eat it because I'm an adult. One of the things I do to sort of chill and to help myself kind of calm down is I tend to buy things. Like these towels that I bought on a whim when I had a really, really bad day at work. They're one of the things that I just sort of randomly bought. I also magnetized this guy on the channel, so that's really cool. If you want to go watch me magnetize him, he's on there. So I tend to buy things because being able to just go out and buy things whenever I want helps me not feel like a failure, which is a horrible reason to do it. And also usually the stores I would go to, like a hobby store or an anime store or something like that, are usually really, really, I'll use the word stimulating, but I don't mean it like that, you know what I mean? but usually there's like a lot going on, a lot to look at, a lot to like look over and think about, and they're very like distracting like that. And it's one of the reasons I really like going to those kinds of places, because one of the tricks for several related mental illnesses is short, like what's referred to as stimming. It's one of the reasons you'll see people like rock back and forth or rub their arms or things like that, right? They develop these habits without even realizing it. But like you can take that concept and put it into like a less, well, I would say less destructive, but I have so much shit that it's definitely just destructive, but a less visually obvious activity, I guess. So walking around a hobby store and looking at all the models and stuff like that, even if I've seen them all a billion times, looking over all the boxes and looking over all the like stuff like that, it's essentially like my version of that, right? Like it's that kind of like it's that kind of stimming thing, right? Like you want this little bit of stimulation to pull you out of the big world of fuck that you're in, and you can just focus on this thing, like, oh, let's look at the box art on this guy, it's really cool, and all the other crazy shit going on behind you doesn't matter now, because you're looking at this guy's box art, or this guy's pose, or the pieces that come with this model, or this runner, or whatever, right? This is weird kind of like distraction thing. It's not extremely healthy, but it is something that I do, and I'm aware of completely, so that's fun. Been pretty stressed, so I bought a lot of shit recently, like this Tau army that I now own, and other bits and bobs here and there, just things. So I have this nasty habit of shopping like this, right? Like going and buying this impulse Tau army, and I won't finish it. What I'll do is I'll end up painting like 9 out of 10 of the guys, and I'll have 1 or 2 guys left. And this is where the concept that I talk about hobby debt, comes from. On one hand, I actually don't want to finish it, right? And on the other hand, I'm stressed that I have so much to do because I haven't finished any of these projects. But like the concept of finishing it, and not having something there to do is like, oh no, I don't have something there to do, So it's really stressful in that regard when this happens, and I sort of build up this massive backlog of bits and pieces, and it's very, very stressful. So when I'm feeling usually a little bit better, I like to take the time away from that, that sort of like cycle I get myself stuck into. And I like to go ahead and finish things, right? I like to knock out the 1 or 2 little models that are left. I like to finish those up, and I will make periods in time, and I will call them, finishing hobby debt or whatever, and I will just go through and knock all those models out. So, Floss and Paradise Police, and all my walls, and we have completed some hobby debt. And now I feel better knowing that, like, this is done, right? Like, I don't have a box of a bunch of wall sections that are now unpainted waiting for me to paint them. And now if I wanted to start a different project, I could. You know what I mean? Because I have the time from finishing this, which is really, really good. So, let's look at some of the other hobby debt that I was working on. Like this doggo. Behold the beautiful doggo. His base is still screwed up. Don't look at the base. But this is an Orlock Mastiff, Cyber Mastiff. And to go with this one, which I had completed previously, who's more of like a Doberman kind of dog. I went for more of a Doberman. This one I went for more of like a lab kind of thing. So you can see he's got like this splotchy fur. and stuff. But I had built up these. I had sort of built up these Orlocks, and finished one model. So I painted one dog, and then I painted this guy right here. And I was like, man, yeah, he looks really good. I love him. He looks fantastic. And then I didn't paint any of the others. Or rather, I got a bunch of them really close to being done, right? So, like, this guy needs detail and then touch up, and he's done. And that's it. Right? He needs some details, he needs some touch up, and he's done. Right? And my entire Orlock army is this way. Right? Orlock team is this way. They're all sort of in this stage. But I had a couple of them that were pure black, right? They didn't have any color on them or anything. So what I did is last night I went through and I blocked in those colors, right? I brought these guys up to the stage where those other guys were. You know, they're at the same step as the other dudes that are here. You know, this guy, who I've had painted like this for probably a month, you know, he's the same step as this lady with the Son of Daggers, right? They're in the same stage of, like, completion. And I did that, one, because I probably didn't have enough time last night to fully finish them all, but I intend to do that tonight. I intend to have this Orlock team completely painted tonight. But two, then my brain can say, hey, these guys, they're all at the same stage, right? They're all like, okay, they're all ready for this step, 100%. And that's cool, right? Like, I don't have to think about, like, multiple levels or anything like that. I could reduce, you know, the overhead of these models not being painted to being like, okay, they're all at this stage, they're all at this step. You know, I don't need to do anything else with them. This is what they need to have done, and then they're good. So now, next time I sit down, I'm going to block out, like, a time of, like, 2 hours, and I will finish them all. And then my entire Orlock team will be ready to rock. Which is pretty sweet. Similarly, God, all I'm doing is just talking about hobby debt and being stressed. I apologize. I'm not actually doing any hobby yet. We will do hobby. Ironically, we're going to build shit today. Similarly, I had picked up the Dominion box, which I had unboxed on the channel and stuff like that. And I had painted up a couple of these, enough for my 750 point army, but I had not finished them. So I have gone through now, and I have finished up the entire the entire Cruel Boys box side. So they are all painted up now, including the ones I don't intend to take to the hobby event, because these guys, they're going to, like, a learn to play event at one of the local stores down here. So they're also magnetized now, so they can go in my box nice and easy. But I went ahead and I finished them up as well, right? I didn't want a situation where I had, like, 1 or 2 Cruel Boys left floating around, right? Or something really obnoxious, like, 10 of the Hobgrots or whatever, right? I didn't want to run into a situation where that was the case. I didn't want to create that hobby debt. You can see the splashy water on this. I didn't want to create that hobby debt with these guys, I didn't want to do that. So I made a conscious effort to be like, these guys, they're going to get fully painted, 100%. My whole Cruel Boys army is going to get done, and then I'm going to focus on something else, which is pretty awesome, right? So they're ready to rock. They are 100% done. All the Cruel Boys from the Dominion box are ready to go. So that's all the hobby debt I finished up. I have a couple army projects still left, like these orcs, for example. But they're kind of going to go on hiatus until I have the full rules for them. So all my orc stuff, yes, I know that box came as a codex. I gave it to a friend who's super into, like, competitive rules. I'm not, so I sold it to him because he was way more interested in it. and then I'll just use the money he gave me for it to go buy one when it comes out. But I've got all them to paint still, but they're going to go on hold until the new codex comes out. I've got some Tyranids. God, all I'm doing is just talking about shit I have to do and stuff that stresses me out. I apologize. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing today. I don't know. What is the point of my stream? Who knows, man? I'm just hanging the fuck out, talking to my invisible friend, Mr. YouTube. But I've been kit bashing these for Kirioth's complete an army by September thing. So you can see this guy slightly reposed. And then he's got some new front arms that I put on there. I actually had these gribbly bits. Hold on. I had these gribbly bits on there. So like tentacle grabby arm things there. But honestly it made the front too complex, like too busy. And I felt like it detracted from the cool shit that was there. So I was like, so I was like, alright, I'm going to take those off. But yeah. So I got some Tyranids still working on. I showed this guy off on Instagram. Am I 100% happy with him yet? No. Right? So this has been one of the things with the Tyranids. So when you choose to paint an army of models that you all want to be similar, you need to develop an order of operation for painting them. And this is one of the big tricks for painting an army quickly, right? Because I can sit down and crank out an army in like a weekend, like without missing a beat. Like if I know the order of operation for painting an army, I can have like 500 points done in a weekend without batting an eye, and they look really good. But it's all because of order of operations. Like 100%, that is the trick to it. And I have not figured that out yet with the Tyranids, because they are not at a place where I'm super, like, amazingly happy with them, right? So, like, these cops, I'm amazingly happy with these. Because they share their idea, they share their concept, you know. They look like their source material, it's funny. These Tyranids, they're not there yet, right? They're really fucking close. They're, like, right edging on the line, but they're not 100% there yet. And I think with a little bit of dry brushing, they'll be there. But they're not there yet, so I have not developed a full order of operations for them yet. One of the things I'm doing as I work for that, what do I mean by order of operations? Order of operations is the order in which you paint what pieces you do. So, for example, if I choose to paint this guy, I'm going to paint the lighter blue. I'm going to paint the dark blue. I'm going to paint the pink. I'm going to then hit it with a wash, right? It's going to, all those pieces are then going to get a blue wash. I'm then going to come back. I'm going to touch up the pink. I'm then going to paint in the shell colors. Then the pink and the shell colors are going to get a different wash. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stipple in the... Dry brushing is always the answer. Yes, I love dry brushing, although I'm fucking terrible at it. But then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stipple in the like shiny mother of pearl color on these, right? But I have, you know, I think there needs to be some dry brushing before I start stippling things in, you know, but like it's a process to get to the end result of the model, right? And so this way you don't end up being like, oh shit, I painted this guy's pants, but I painted that guy's boots. But then I painted that guy's dress, and then I painted that guy's spear, and it's like, fuck, now I'm like all over the place on all these models, right? It's like, no. You know, you do this one, 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 complete. And usually this order of operations is going to save you time. So when you're doing it, you want to make sure that, like, pretty much you have as much leeway for error in there as possible. So if you really screw up one of the pieces, you can fix it before it becomes unfixable, because there are points when you're painting. So for example, like, okay, so if I grab this guy, right, there are points after he's gotten his washes and highlights and stuff where I cannot go back and redo the base coat. So like if I made like a massive error on him, I would essentially have to start that section of him from scratch again. Because there are points that he hits, that every model hits, where you cannot go back and fix them. You know, and trying to reduce that time, trying to like maintain good uptime on error is how you wind up being able to paint very quickly, and being able to paint very neatly and like succinctly. Succinct is probably the best word for it. And you don't wind up with a situation where you're like, God, I already did the washes on this guy's boots, but now his pants need the same washes? You know, I should have just painted the pants and then hit them both with the same wash. That would have made way more sense. You know what I mean? And you wind up with that kind of thing going on. So, I have not developed a good order of operations for the Tyranids yet, although I do really like their colors. I think their colors are really coming along. I think the colors are pretty great. I just haven't developed the order of operations 100% for them. I have a couple who I've started to just block colors in on because I want to work on them. But yeah, I have not developed that order of operations 100% yet. Okay. Alright, are we going to finally get to some hobby? God, it's time 10:50 already, and all I've done is babble about the anxiety of hobby debt. I haven't actually done any hobby yet. But, anyway, as you can see on my desk right now, I have the Tyranids, who I'm still trying to figure out. I've got some of my big bugs, like this lady here, who I gave an extra set of wings to. Or Mr. Jazz Hands. Mr. Jazz Hands there, showing off. So I've got a lot of cool big bugs for the Tyranids I need to finish. And my goal is to get 500 points of them done by the mid of September. Which, once I have that order of operations figured out, it will be one weekend, pretty much. Like, just straight up, it's one weekend once I have that order of operations figured out. So, what are we doing today? Well, I have some towel, and I have not 100% figured out what colors I want them to be yet. I kind of want them to be Bear Pride flag colors, but at the same time, I really like that speed metal, and I think if I paint them in that, they'll look really cool. So I haven't figured that out yet. Stop. But, God, I am just all over the place. Okay. Next weekend, all of the new Necromunda House Delac stuff comes out. So their new models, their new book, their data cards, their dice, all that new stuff comes out next weekend, which is awesome, right? Like, it's pretty cool. As well as another set of Orlok weapons, which is one of the reasons why I really want my Orloks to get done, because I have some more Orloks on sprue to use with the new weapons when they come out. But I don't have any Delac built, and I would kind of like to play a game with them, using the new models once they come out. So I figured I would add to the way too much shit I already have built that's not painted, and I figured I would build some Delac today. Not all of them, not a whole box worth, but just a runner's worth, just 5 of them, just to get a feel for the models and stuff. So these guys came in the Hive Wars box set that I picked up a while ago and did an unboxing review for on the channel. At the time, I was like, you know, I'm really not feeling the Delac. And I think that's probably still a little bit the case. However, I had this realization that these guys basically look like they're from the Matrix. And that's really motivated me to try painting some of them in like black and gray trench coats and stuff. So I really want to get some of them done. It's like, look at that guy with his like Morpheus stick and everything. Like, he looks like he's from the fucking Matrix. So yeah, I really want to knock a couple of them out. Because, like I said, I get this really strong Matrix vibe from them now that, like, my brain has sorted that out. So, all right. So, let's get snipping. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're not gonna do any of the hands or anything like that. We're gonna just snip out the bodies and put them on the bases so they can glue on there and be good. So it looks like, if you look at the runner, it looks like all the heads connect the same way. So if we just build them without the heads or the arms, they should be good. So let's see what we got. Alright, piece 22. Where is that at? Right there. Okay, so the necks. Interesting. Alright, we'll figure this out. This is also the reason I wanted to build a couple of these so that I have, when I get the new stuff next week, which I was on the fence about, but I decided, fuck it, I'll pick it up. I literally just spent this whole time being like, you know, I really shouldn't buy more stuff. I have so much stuff because I was just in a crazy anxious period. And now I'm like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it, right? God, I'm literally the biggest stupid hypocrite ever. Okay, so we got those three there, and that should be a completed guide. But I really wanted to see how these guys go together before I build the new box of units that comes out. Because if no one's seen it, the new box of units contains 7 miniatures, which is about on par for what these like support boxes contain. And it contains a big like space robot squid. It looks like the fucking thing from the Matrix. Contains that, and it contains shit. It contains a handler for like these robot snakes, and then 2 robot snakes that are like ripping out of the ground, and then it contains like 2 like katana or claws wielding like, oh, I missed a piece, like ninja guys, and then what I can only describe as like a robot toddler. It's the weirdest box. Like, the shit in there is fucking bizarre. I like the big tentacle thing a lot, though. I think it's really cool. And the like 90s weeb in me really likes the ninja guys, because apparently, yeah, I don't know, they really look like they're from the Matrix. The ninja guys do, just like these guys do. And I was just like, man, those are really cool. The like weird robot armed Doc Ock toddler thing, that I don't give a fuck about. I really don't care about that. He is not my jam, but the big tentacle creature definitely is. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so these guys actually go together pretty easy, because I guess a lot of them aren't going to actually have leg models because they're just trench coats. Yeah, so this guy's not actually going to have any legs. He's just a trench coat. A trench coat covered in straps because he just got a gift card to Hot Topic. The Matrix is retro now. That makes me sad. Alright. But yes, I know the Matrix is 22 years old. Yes. I remember going and seeing the Matrix in Golden Ring. Yeah. But yeah, they don't really have feet, so they're just sort of trench coats. So So they go together really easy. Alright, so we got that body. Let's go build the body for the boss. Body for the boss. Okay. Hey, yo. No? Weird, okay. I thought my husband opened the door. I guess not. I guess it was just wiggling. Alright, so we're looking for 11. I will say it's really nice. You get a lot of heads on here. So this is 8 heads for 5 bodies. That's pretty good. No, it's 10 heads. And some more there. So you're going to be able to have a unique head for each guy, which is really cool. Alright. You also get a bunch of really cool weapons that look like they have silencers on them. So you get like this one, which is like a little machine gun. That one's some kind of plasma gun. This set of dual wielding badassness. There's a hand flamer. There's looks like a shotgun and then an auto rifle. Cool stuff, really. Okay. But yeah. I don't know. They're super matrixy, so my plan for them is to pretty much do them in like black and possibly green or gray. We'll have to see. Let's see. He needs his foot because he has a foot. Because he be strolling. And then he needs a chest. Which is over here. But yeah, so that's all coming out. I'm curious to see what they're going to add in the book for them. Because every faction's gotten some new, unique, special rule in their book. Which is really neat. So, the Orlocks, they have what's called gene smithing. So, they can, like, buff themselves for the cost of points. And they get special abilities for it. And then the House of Faith guys, the Caldor, they got a bunch of special roles, including the ability to like determine if they're law-abiding or if they're like crazy radical, or the ability to do like acts of faith. So they can do all kinds of crazy shit, like light themselves on fire and stuff. It's pretty cool. They're really, really cool. But yeah. I don't know. The whole setting for Necromunda is gold. But anyway, yeah. So they were coming out next week. I don't have them pre-ordered anywhere. Because I'm going to a Learn to Play next week. And I will probably just pick them up there. But I have not arranged that yet. I might do that today. Hold on. I don't like doing that, but I was supposed to put this funnel first and then I failed. Okay, there we go. Follow the instructions. It's what my horrible building here should be teaching you. Don't just glue things together because they look like they go together. Actually follow the instructions. There we go. Alright. Anyway. So, another reason I want to build these guys, and this is again me rambling philosophical, so I apologize, but there is an idea that this is a hobby, and you're like, yeah, fucking course it is, dumbass. But it is very easy to feel like you need to do certain things in the hobby, right? Like you need to oh, you need to finish this model first, or oh, you should finish this faction, or stuff like that, right? But the truth is, this is a hobby. This is a thing you're supposed to be doing for fun, right? So when that kind of concept rears up, and it feels like you have to do one thing, or you have to do another thing, right? You're getting away from the thing that you want to do in that moment. And this is a problem, right? Because that's how you lose motivation. That's how you lose desire. Because you're not following your desire anymore. You're following what you're supposed to do. Oh, I'm supposed to have 2 units of boys because then they have a blade of wounds and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but do you feel like working on another unit of boys right now? If not, go build your truck. Go build your Rucka Truck Squig Buddy. Go build the thing you want to build. Like, do I want to paint the Tau I bought in an anxiety fit? Like, right now? No, I don't. I don't feel like painting Tau right now. I don't feel like trying to do the really close-up, tight detail work I need to on these guys on camera. I don't feel like doing that right now. What do I feel like doing? I feel like gluing stuff together. And I feel like thinking about the Matrix and how fucking cool it was when I was like 12. 11. No. 12. 12 would have been right, yeah. Thinking about like trench coats and like dual pistols. Like, look at this dude, right? Like, he looks like he's like ready to be like, right? And that's what I feel like thinking about. So that's what I'm going to choose to think about. So, I'm following the desire there, and sometimes that's can lead you to feeling overwhelmed, like what I was talking about earlier. But also sometimes that's reinvigorating, right? Because one of the hardest things to do as an adult is to allow yourself to enjoy something. And I think this is, I feel like this is more and more true every time I get older, right? I feel like, as an adult, we're just supposed to be super, super cynical and critical of fucking everything. We're not supposed to like get suckered in or get excited about stuff or, things like that. Except for the things that society says we can get excited about. And that's kind of fucked, right? Excuse me. I think that's kind of fucked anyway. So, there's a new release coming out, right? For the Deloc. I want to be excited about it. Right? Like, do I play the Deloc? No. Am I going to? Yeah. I'm gonna play every faction in Necromunda because I really like Necromunda. It's fun. But like, I want to get excited about that. I want to enjoy that hype. I want to be like, yeah, these are cool when I go pick them up, right? And when I do my unboxing and I build a couple of them on stream, right? Like, I want that excitement. I want that fun, right? And, because of that, right? Because I don't, I want to build some Deloc right now. Even though it's not the most smart or practical, or it's not helping with my hobby debt or anything like that. I just want to chase that fun a little bit and let myself enjoy the upcoming hype. There we go. With my Deloc. Wow, these guys go together like fucking butter. I'm just gonna put that out there. There are no problems putting these guys together at all. It looks like the way the arms are cut, the arms are not specific either. So if you wanted like this guy to have the double pistols or whatever, you could totally do that instead. Also means these guys are probably gonna be Also just means that these guys are probably going to be really, really, really easy to paint. Alright. So, there he is. Now we've got 4 and 5 left to do. This one's like creeping. Shit. Need that neck. It's the one piece I don't think there's extras of on this runner is necks. But yeah. So, hobby's weird. Brains are weird. Follow what you enjoy doing. But don't accumulate a ton of hobby debt. I feel like I should have some like golden end of the road rule thing, but I really don't. I just, I'm just sort of talking about whatever the fuck comes to my mind as I sit here and do what I want to do, which is build my Delac. Think about the Matrix. Like, there is no spoon. Whoa. He's starting to believe, like, God. Man, the Matrix is so fucking good. Kind of wonder if I could do some, like, dreadlocks on some of these guys and make, like, a set of wraiths. That would actually be really cool. Yeah, that would actually be super cool. Maybe what I'll do with the add-on set, the 2 guys, because you get 2 of the like ninja guys. Maybe I'll paint them all in white, like the wraiths, because the wraiths were really cool. God, the other Matrix movies were such a disappointment. It's all the Merovingian and his weird fucking orgasm cake. Anyway. Yeah, craziness. But I'm going to build up these Delac. They're very, very cool. But thank you. Sorry, I keep knocking a paint pot over off screen. And it's Agrax, it's one of those like really folly over Agrax shade pots. The the tall ones that just like tip the fuck over at the slightest thing. It's one of those, so I'm always worried about it. But it's filled with like water that I use to clean my brushes, or that I use to like thin my paints, like dip in and put a little, So I'm like anyway, worried about it. Man. I am just all over the place. I did not realize. I apologize. But, this Delac person is a lady. Interesting. There was little Delac boobs there. Behold, the little Delac boobs. Look. Come on. Yeah. Weird, huh? I didn't realize any of these were ladies. It's kind of cool, though. Just did not realize it. Now that I do realize it, though, it's kind of a shame that, like, since the ladies and the men are so similar, it's kind of a shame that, like, you don't get an option to make it all ladies or all men. You just get the one lady and the one pose. That's kind of lame. Alright, there's a ton of cool accessories on this thing. do think I want a guy with the cane, because I think the cane is cool. I think the cane is very cool. Alright. Let's build the last one here, and then we'll look at the bits. Alright, does she get any feet glued in? Let's see. Yeah, she's supposed to have a... No. So she's this and this, right? Oh, hold up. She's missing some pieces. What pieces am I missing for her? Okay, hold on. I'm missing a part. Up here we go. 47, missing that. Here's the chest. Do I have the neck? No, I did not clip the neck out either. Missing all the parts apparently. Damn. Okay. I guess the Deloc lady's probably supposed to have a specific head. But honestly, I can't tell them apart. None of them have like facial hair or anything, and they all just have like these kind of like, you know, weird robot-eyed faces that look like they're from like Ghost in the Shell or something. So like, honestly, I can't tell them apart. So I'll probably just use whatever head. Fuck. Let's find it. Where'd it go? Oh shit. Oh. One minute. Ah. I found my missing paint. And my missing dog. It was a very useful trip under the table. I've been looking for this paint. Alright. There we go. Deloc boobs are back on the menu. Anyway. So yeah, so I feel like it's very easy to not let yourself enjoy things as an adult, but also to like easily overwhelm yourself, right? Like, I think about my Tyranid models, and they are, you know, they are my greatest failure. Partly because when I bought Tyranids before for Kill Team, I was not happy with how they ended up looking. I'm still not happy with them. I have them in the case downstairs, and I'm super dishappy with them. To the point where I've debated like taking them out of the case and just throwing them in a box. You know, so partly like these Tyranids that I have, they're my like attempt to like fix that, I guess. And because of that, I'm putting them a little bit on a pedestal. You know, so when I make an error or something with them, you know, or I don't like you know, I'm not perfectly in love with the colors or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is terrible, you know. And that's makes it very hard, you know. It makes it very hard to produce a model that you really like, because you know, you're putting yourself up to a standard that, like, you know, probably is unrealistic, you know. It also means that every time a different idea presents itself, right? It seems really appealing. And I think this is something that people have in their relationships and stuff like that a lot. You know, where they put it on like this pedestal. And so when they're not, you know, even being slightly unhappy, it's very easy for them to be like, oh, you know, this other idea might be better, or this other relationship might be better, because they've built up this pedestal around it. There's the Deloc lady. I don't know, I'm just rambling now. I will probably let's take a look at some of the pieces, and then I'll probably call it, because these guys need to glue on their bases before I put their arms on and stuff. So yeah, I apologize for this kind of rambly video and for all the technical difficulties, but let's take a look at the runner and see what we have as options. Okay, so first off, we've got this really cool little SMG. What is that technically? It's probably an autogun, but I would happily call that a pistol personally. We've got this scope here with a hand around it. I guess he's like, I put that down when I do that accidentally. He's like, whoa, looking through it. We've got one hand with a silenced pistol, one hand with some kind of plasma gun. That's really, really cool looking. I like that a lot. We've got two hands down here with unsilenced pistols. Personally, these could be basically any kind of pistol, honestly. The design is so different. They have the big magazines on them, so maybe they're supposed to be auto pistols, but honestly, I would happily call them any kind of pistol. Completely honestly, I would happily call them any kind of pistol. Let's see. We also have this one here with a silencer as well. We've got this auto rifle here, which looks like it is in like a case, like a strap to go in the back. We've got a shotgun here. That looks like a shotgun to me. We got a set of throwing knives. I actually wish we had more of these, because these are really cool. So yeah, I wish we had more of those. We've got another little pistol, another little auto pistol with a silencer. It's pretty cool. We have a set of hands with the throwing knives out, like little daggers. That's pretty sweet. Blah, 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 blah. Bunch of little bags and grenades. Here's some kind of rebreather. We have what looks like to me like a hand flamer. This looks like a hand flamer. It's got the little tube and then the casing and a little bit to have a little fire at the end. Then we have another auto pistol of some kind. And then another rifle for the back. Then we have the case. And then the dude pulling a magazine out of a pouch. Which is right there. I said the case. This is the staff. Yeah, we have like a walking staff. And then a dude pulling a magazine out of a pouch. Interesting. There is not, besides the shotgun, there's not a single wielded rifle. Which is really weird, because there's a couple here with auto rifles, right? So there's this one here with what I think counts as a quote-unquote long rifle. but you could call it an auto rifle just as easily. And then we have this auto rifle here, and then we have a shotgun. There's not a single like wielded auto rifle in this sprue. There's also no heavy weapons on this sprue, which is really interesting. It's pretty much all just pistols. Yeah. So I'm assuming when their special weapons sprue comes out, it's going to be all like heavy weapons, pretty much. But yeah. Okay. So that is me rambling about Hobby Debt, building these House to Lock, trench coat, hot topic aficionados. Building up 5 of them. I'm going to keep the other 5 on the sprue for when their special weapons sprue comes out. For when their special weapons sprue comes out. So I can pick and choose. Because I'm hoping they'll have some like sniper up at the eye kind of stuff. But I also hope they're going to have some heavy weapons. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it there. We'll end on the view of this Floston police officer looking mighty dapper with his shield being like, whew. There he goes, looking good. And we'll go ahead and end there. Let's end on this guy with the shotgun. He's a little better painted. We're going to go ahead and there. I'm sorry this was so rambly today, and I'm sorry we had technical issues in the beginning. Those weren't my fault. That was just Streamlabs screwing the fuck up. But thank you for watching. Hopefully this was entertaining, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was. Kind of all over the place. But I'm going to go probably eat another donut and then figure out watching a movie with some friends. So I will go ahead and I will call it there. I hope you guys have a good day and keep on keeping